Where the Boys Are is a wild ride of an R-rated sex comedy from 1984. If you're expecting the sweet, slightly scandalous romance of the 1960 original, pump the brakes. This remake totally leans into the wild side of 80s Spring Break. Directed by Hy Averback and produced by Alan Carr, fresh from the Grease movies, it was actually TriStar Pictures' very first release after Universal backed out. Compared to the old version, this one ditches any innocent vibes for sun-soaked, raunchy chaos. Think nudity, drugs, and all the antics you'd expect from 250,000 college kids invading Fort Lauderdale in the 80s. Here's the basic setup. 4 college friends from chilly Penmore College up north head to Fort Lauderdale for some Easter week spring break action, hoping to soak up rays, meet boys, and get into the usual trouble. The movie is basically a string of spring break set pieces. The girls crash a fancy lawn party, get wild in local clubs, and have all sorts of misadventures, like practicing foreplay on an inflatable male doll that literally explodes. There are bikini contests, parties that turn into orgies, and tons of 1980s ridiculousness. If you want deep characters, this isn't the flick. But if you want non-stop beach party craziness, you're in the right place. Production-wise, it was filmed quickly during Florida's real spring break. On location everywhere from Boca Raton's Royal Palm Yacht Club to the Lauderdale Beach Hotel and a Hollywood band shell. The set was a party too. Alan Carr kept things loose, and rumor has it the iconic beach funeral scene used real pot instead of props. When it hit theaters, critics were less than kind. Roger Ebert slammed it as an exercise in exhausted cynicism, and Janet Maslin from the New York Times called it dumb, vulgar, and mostly humorless. It even snagged Razzie nominations for Worst Picture, Screenplay, and Score, plus Worst Supporting Actress for poor Lynn-Holly Johnson. Despite the reviews, it actually did okay for a spring break comedy, opening at number 5 and eventually making about $10.5 million in the US. Speaking of the soundtrack, it's super 80s too. RCA released it in April 1984, featuring Lisa Hartman covering the original Connie Francis hit, Where the Boys Are. There are also tracks by the Rockettes, Toronto, Phil Seymour, and Rick Derringer, with a disco version of the title song from Lorna Luft. The score's by Sylvester LeVay, a Razzie winner, but hey, it fits. The movie's home release history is complicated. VHS copies exist, DVDs were scarce due to rights issues, but a remastered Blu-ray dropped in 2018. You can stream it on Tubi, Prime Video, and sometimes Netflix. Bottom line, Where the Boys Are 84 is no masterpiece, but it is an unapologetically brash, goofy, sunburnt snapshot of 1980s spring break culture. Loved, or at least tolerated, by some Gen Xers for its nostalgia factor. Want romance? Go back to 1960 version. Want a trashy, silly comedy with a ton of 80s attitude? This is your beach movie. Subscribe to Movies of the 80s on Substack for 80s movie history content. And subscribe to Movies of the 80s here on YouTube for daily video uploads.